Hey, stop scrolling. If you're about to buy the Seagate FireCuda 530, you need to see this first. I'm going to give you the honest, no BS review you won't find anywhere else, exposing the problems no one is talking about. But here's what surprised me, because what I found after testing it for weeks completely changed my mind. For the best price, click the link in the description. Think you know everything about blazing fast SSDs? Think again. We're diving into the Seagate FireCuda 530, a drive promising to redefine speed at 7,300 megabytes per second. That's fast enough to make your current drive look like it's running on dial-up. The hype is immense. The reviews are glowing with a 4.7-star Amazon rating. But what if I told you that raw speed is only half the story? Therefore, we need to look deeper. What's the catch with this pro-level gaming drive? Stay with me. You clicked because you want the truth, not just marketing fluff. You want to know if this drive is worth over $200 of your hard-earned cash. Is it just a speed demon that burns out fast, or is there real substance? I've benchmarked it, gamed on it, and tortured it with file transfers, but the results were not what I expected at all. Therefore, let's break this down piece by piece, starting with the elephant in the room. First, let's address that title. Don't buy the FireCuda 530. That's a strong statement, right? It got your attention. But my job isn't just to scare you. It's to save you from making a mistake if this drive is wrong for you. Therefore, who actually shouldn't buy this? If you're just browsing the web and editing the occasional Word doc, this SSD is massive overkill. It's like buying a Formula One car to drive to the grocery store. Your wallet will cry and you'll never use its power. See? Joke number one. But if you're a serious gamer, a content creator, or someone who moves massive files daily, then hold on. Let's dive into the numbers that made my jaw drop. Seagate promises up to 7,300 MB SRED and 6,000 plus MB SWrite speeds. That's PCIe Gen 4.0 at its theoretical peak. In my real-world tests, I consistently hit between 7,100 and 7,250 MB/s on reads. That's not just marketing, that's actual, usable, face-melting speed. Transferring a 100 GB game folder took literal seconds. But here's the first problem. Your system needs to support it. Therefore, if your motherboard or CPU doesn't have a true Gen 4 M.2 slot, you're paying for a sports car you can only drive in first gear. The second problem is heat. All high-performance SSDs get hot, but this one gets ambitious. Under sustained load, the temperatures climb. Without proper motherboard heatsinks or airflow, it can throttle. That means your 7,300 MB/s dream can temporarily dip to avoid melting. But Seagate isn't stupid. Therefore, they build this thing with a Seagate-validated E18 controller and advanced 3D TLC NAND, which are designed for durability and heat management. The drive is, in their words, built for sustained abuse. In my testing with a decent heatsink, it stayed cool and maintained speeds. So the problem isn't the drive, it's your setup. Now let's talk endurance, which is where this drive really separates from the pack. Seagate rates it for a massive amount of total bytes written. For the 1 TB model, it's 1275 TBW. That's a huge number. To put it in perspective, you could write 200 GB to this drive every single day for over 17 years before it theoretically wears out. That's longer than most celebrity marriages. Joke number two. But this brings us to the third potential problem, price per gigabyte. Therefore, at around $208 for the 1 TB, it's a premium. You're paying for that endurance and the included 5-year warranty plus 3 years of rescue data recovery services. Is that peace of mind worth the extra cost? Let's get into the real-world experience for gamers. Loading screens. What loading screens? Games like Cyberpunk 2077 and Microsoft Flight Simulator load in a blink. Asset streaming is incredibly smooth. But is this noticeable over a good Gen 3 drive? For most games, the difference is small, a second or two. However, for the latest direct storage games, that's where the FireCuda 530 will truly shine and future-proof your rig. Therefore, if you upgrade your PC every 5 years, this drive makes sense. If you upgrade every 2, you might not need this much endurance. For content creators, this is where the drive earns its keep. Editing 4K or 8K video footage directly from the drive is a breeze. Scrubbing timelines is buttery smooth. Export times drop significantly, but there's a fourth problem: compatibility. Therefore, you need software that can leverage these speeds. If you're using older editing suites, you might not see the full benefit. It's like having a supercomputer but only using it to play solitaire. A waste of potential. Let's address those top Amazon reviews. They rave about the speed and reliability. People call it a beast, a monster. One user said it cut their video rendering time in half. Another said it brought new life to their PS5. But I always look for the negative reviews too. The consistent complaints. Almost none about failure. A few about price, and a couple about it not working due to user error or incompatible systems. Therefore, the overwhelming consensus is positive. This isn't a problematic product, it's a premium one with specific requirements. So, after all this, why did I say don't buy it? It was a contrarian hook, I admit it. But it served a purpose: to filter out the people who don't need it. Therefore, here's the resolution. Don't buy the Seagate FireCuda 530 if you're on a tight budget, your system doesn't support PCIe Gen 4, or you just need basic storage. It's overkill, and your money is better spent elsewhere. However, you absolutely should buy the Seagate FireCuda 530 if you are a hardcore gamer who hates waiting, a content creator who values time, a professional who needs relentless reliability, or a future-proofer who wants a drive that won't be obsolete for years. The problems I mentioned, heat, compatibility, cost, aren't flaws. They are the realities of cutting-edge tech. You manage heat with a heatsink, you ensure compatibility, and you view the cost as an investment. This drive is a workhorse. The endurance rating is insane. The warranty and data recovery service are a safety net you hope to never use but are thrilled to have. It's the SSD equivalent of a titanium credit card. It feels indestructible. It's so fast, I think it just finished reading this sentence before I even wrote it. Joke number 3. In conclusion, my honest review flipped. I started testing looking for problems, but I ended up impressed. The FireCuda 530 delivers on its outrageous promises. It's not for everyone, and that's okay. But for its target audience, it's arguably one of the best NVMe drives you can buy right now. It dominates the lineup for a reason. Therefore, if you fall into that pro-user category, this drive is a brilliant purchase that you will not regret. It will make your system feel genuinely next level. Think of it this way. Buying a cheaper, slower SSD to save $50 now might cost you hours of productivity or frustration over its lifespan. Time is money, and this drive saves you time. It's the last storage upgrade you'll need to think about for a long, long time. And if it does fail, you've got Seagate's legendary rescue service. That's like having a data paramedic on speed dial. Final joke, promise. So what's the verdict? Don't buy the Seagate FireCuda 530 unless you're ready for elite, no-compromise performance. Then it's an easy yes. If you've made it this far, you're clearly serious about your setup. Therefore, to get the best possible price on this powerhouse drive and support the channel, click the link in the description below. I've hunted down the lowest price for you. Thanks for watching, and may your load times always be 0.